Can the Tennessee Volunteers win the SEC East and play for an SEC title? Hendon Hooker told Josh Heupel, hey, you know what? I don't think I want to go to the NFL just yet. Let's run that back, Turbo. And Josh Heupel very matter-of-factly just said, let's go to Atlanta. And make no mistake about it, the good people in Knoxville, the phenomenal people in Knoxville that watched this show, one, we salute you. They're excited about all the things that are happening in year two under Josh Heupel. Like, they're juiced up. But the goal is still to get to the SEC title game. They'll take the win over Florida. They'll take the quick start. They'll take all the rankings, the notoriety. They want to play for an SEC title. That is the aim. That is the main thing. So they're keeping the main thing the main thing. So let's kind of have this discussion at this point in the year. Obviously, a big game at LSU this Saturday. But for the SEC East, how would Tennessee go about winning? We're going to talk about that right now. I'm Jody Pickell. This is The Hard Count. We're so fired up. You're tuned in. Subscribe to the channel. It helps us. It helps you. It's a great community. Come be a part of it. Roll, party, roll. There is a really wild 5-game stretch that Tennessee has to end the season with their SEC East play. They go and play Kentucky at home in Neyland Stadium. Then you go to Georgia, November 5th. You play Missouri at home. You go to South Carolina. You finish the year at Vanderbilt. Okay, so that 5-game stretch is going to ultimately define whether or not you play for an SEC title in Atlanta. And all 5 of those games, one, they're all winnable. So let's say that it's very much possible for for Tennessee to win the SEC East. They will be favored, I would imagine, in all but one. You can probably guess that one game. We'll get to that in just a second. But how would they end up doing it? Well, first and foremost, this isn't a novel concept, but the offense needs to stay on the grill, needs to keep the heat up, and keep cooking. Because they're averaging 48.5 points a game. You say, of course, we got to score points to win football games. That's just how this whole operation works. I understand that. But when you score at a clip of 49, 48 points a game, you know what that does to the opposing offense? That means they have to match you. That means they have to get into a track meet and do things that they otherwise wouldn't really be able to do. And 4 but 5 of these teams probably can't keep pace with Tennessee. So all that's to say, if the offense keeps the pedal to the metal, Hendon Hooker stays doing what Hendon Hooker does, they get Cedric Tillman back here relatively soon, it sounds like. The run game keeps going. If they keep playing Josh Heupel's style of offense and keep getting Josh Heupel style results, they're going to have a chance to win at least all of these games. That's very, very important. It also helps supplement what the defense does. The defense isn't perfect. It's still a work in progress. Overall, they're allowing 19 points a game. You look at the Power 5 competition, though, and you're giving up 30 a game. Now, that's a small sample size. I understand that at this point in time, they're going to probably get better as the year goes on, or you would hope so. But that's a concern for me. And so my question becomes, all teams that play for a title, the majority of at least, there is a point in their season where they have to win a game left-handed. Meaning, hey, our fastball's not working. Maybe the offense isn't going for 40 that game. Maybe they're only good for 24. Can the defense pick you up and be the reason you win a game? Maybe they're not playing lights out the duration of the game, but at the end of the game, it's an interception. Maybe it's a forced fumble. Maybe it's a stop on 4th down. There's got to be some moment in this 5-game stretch for Tennessee, if they want to play for an SEC title, that the defense is the reason that they win a game. Can they do it? Absolutely. Will they be tested? You better believe they will. And I think a lot of it stems with that secondary. There have been times, transparently as of late, they've been dinged up, haven't been full strength, but they will need to step up at some point in time. I think Kentucky's a game you have to step up, obviously. And then at Georgia is really the big hinge point for Tennessee. Got some matchup problems with guys like Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington. We could pretty much just go down this tight end room. We'll see what the receiver room looks like at that point in the year, but they got dudes, okay? Bottom line, they got dudes that if you don't match up well with or you don't scheme well with, you're going to be going home holding L. Now for Tennessee, that's, I think, the game that transparently we're all looking at, right? No disrespect to Kentucky when they come to Neyland. You'll be favored in that game. You should win that game. Missouri, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, all good opponents. If you're napping on one of those days, it's going to be a tough story to tell the next day, but ultimately, Georgia's the one that you have circled, underlined, starred, highlighted, all that. And that game will likely determine who wins the SEC East. Let's just call a spade a spade. So how do you beat Georgia? Well, I think one question is which Georgia team shows up. Is it the Georgia that absolutely took Oregon to the woodshed in week 1 of the season and just straight up made a statement they were here? Or is it the Georgia that messed around for 3.5 quarters against Missouri and never really kicked it into overdrive? I think that matters. For Tennessee, though, they have to make sure they attack Georgia properly. Going back to the offense, if they can pressure this opposing offense, Stetson Bennett, and say, hey, we're scoring 40. Are you scoring 40? We're going to go ahead and make sure that you have to match us drive for drive. Can you do that? I am the first to say I am not a Stetson Bennett hater. Stetson Bennett has proven many a hater wrong routinely, okay? So I'm not going to go ahead and say Stetson Bennett's the reason why Georgia would lose to Tennessee, but I would say if it's a quarterback duel, if it comes down to quarterback versus quarterback, I like Hendon Hooker's odds, all right? So we're going to make sure that we sort of keep an eye on this thing. We're for sure going to do a breakdown when this thing gets going. Okay, when Georgia and Tennessee are set to line it up, we're doing a preview, we're doing a prediction. This channel is the place you want to be, so make sure you're subscribed for that. On top of all that, though, for Tennessee, can you make sure that you're full strength and healthy for Georgia? Can you make sure all parts of this operation are set and ready to deliver the hardest punch you have ever thrown in Tennessee football history? Because that's the kind of effort it's going to take on November 5th in Athens. That's going to be the kind of outfit you have to have available to you. It's not novel analysis, but if we're setting the table for how this would happen, that is a crucial ingredient. So again, when this game arrives, you will want to be on this channel for it. We'll predict it, we'll preview it, but to sum this whole thing up, can Tennessee win the SEC East? You better believe it. That's it for us here on The Hard Count. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, subscribe to the channel. Come join the party with us. It's a community. We want you a part of it. Also, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, @JDPikel, to stay with every single thing we're doing here. Going to have some interaction on the Instagram platform very, very soon, some Q&A, so make sure you're locked in for that. But until then, we're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.